Joining us now, though, big win last night, as we predicted, and we endorsed him. Scott Taylor had old-fashioned primary, and what you call an old-fashioned butt-whooping, and he got nearly 50% of the vote. He's going to take on Elaine Luria, who, we have said, is the most vulnerable of all the Democrats in Trump districts. She is a dreadful congresswoman. She is a dreadful candidate. She's altogether a dreadful person. And Taylor is going to beat her. This is going to be our number one pickup. And Scott Taylor with us now. Scott, congratulations last night. Great victory.
Thank you, John. Good morning. Appreciate your support. Great prediction, of course. And I'm thankful for everybody out there who supported us and worked their butts off and made it happen.
The old-fashioned way, win a primary, not a rigged convention, not like, 600 people show up out of 3 million. You win an old-fashioned primary. You had to campaign. You had two pretty good candidates against you. Both worked hard. I got to tell you, Jerome Bell called me last evening at about 9. He wanted to congratulate me for the prediction, and he said that he would do everything in his power to help you win. And then he asked for your phone number, which I gave to him, because I figured he wanted to call you up. Yeah. I hope that was all right.
Well, let me say, look, I got nothing but respect for Ben and Jerome. I'm appreciative of them stepping forward to try to fill this leadership deficit in the 2nd District. So kudos, congratulations to them and their supporters and everybody that worked to get them elected, because this isn't an easy thing. I get it. It's tough on your family, tough on you. So I appreciate them stepping up. And they both called me last night, and they were respectful, and I'm very appreciative of them. I mean, that didn't happen, both of the last two primaries previously. Neither one of those candidates called, and I think that's disrespectful and shows their character. But these two both called respectfully, and I'm appreciative of them, and I respect both of them.
Well, look, they ran hard. They got about 50% combined. You got the other half, but you're going to be the nominee, and you're going to go up against Elaine Luria. And look, Elaine Luria is in a box. Now, let me just ask you a few questions straight out, right? Sure. The president yesterday signed, or I think he's signing it today, the executive order on monuments. You destroy public property. You destroy private property that's owned by the federal government. You're going to jail. You're going to be convicted. You're going to be tried. And if found guilty, you're going to prison. So you can't do that because otherwise you have chaos. How does Elaine Luria stand on destroying federal property?
Well, much like just about every other issue except for impeachment, Elaine Luria has been silent. Elaine Luria has had her head in the sand. She hasn't said anything. And the reality is, look, everybody cares about equality. Everybody cares about social justice. That, however, doesn't mean that you can create chaos and basically, call to defund the police and ruin the very fabric that holds our society together and destroy public property and monuments and history, layered history, imperfect history, but it is indeed our history.
Right.
And so whether it's the St. John's in D.C. or Teddy Roosevelt or Jefferson or any public monument that's public-private property, it's vandalism, it's a crime. And I'm glad that the president is stepping up, because the reality is a lot of these, governors or mayors haven't stepped up. And the number one duty of government, the reason why man went from tribes to society was to be able to protect people and property. And if they're not doing that, they should simply resign and let somebody else step up that will do it.
Well, Elaine Luria doesn't even make a comment. We got statues coming down. We got riots in Richmond. We got the city burning. We got graffiti all over the place. You've got mayhem going on in Portsmouth. She's nowhere to be found on any of these issues in Virginia. And certainly now we've got Virginia Beach. We got issues there. Is she for mobs or what? I mean, what is she for? Is she for the rule of law? Is she for a civilization? Or is she for burning, looting, and mobs? Which is it?
I just think she's weak, man. I just think she's scared to say anything to upset her crazy left base. And she's not standing up for the people in the 2nd District or the Commonwealth or even our country. I just find it disgraceful.
Basically, this is a feckless congresswoman that has not stood up to any of this and made any statement on anything. Because here's the box they're in, Scott. It's very simple, Scott Taylor, okay? If she says anything negative about looting, protesters, burning down buildings, defacing property, Molotov cocktails, anything. She says anything, she gets skewered by the left, right? Doesn't matter what it is. if she backs them, she gets beat by a large margin because this race is now civilization versus chaos. That's really what this is about. I mean, you saw the success that AOC is having in New York, knocking out Eliot Engel last night. It's incredible. I mean, the party is
like
just...
these people that are on the far left, they want a revolution, man. They want a revolution, and the reality is, as Republicans, as conservatives, we're walking around and people feel ashamed. I was walking on the beach the other day, and there was a Filipino-American lady, and she was like, I'm voting for you, I'm voting for President Trump, I don't care what, but I just can't say it out loud. I can't tell anybody, because she feels that people try to shame them. That is insane in this country, that you can't stand up and speak just on your normal beliefs, right? And that's what the left wants. They want to control you. They want to control our message. They want to shut out and shame us from being who we are. And it is past time that we stand up and that we speak out, and that we hold people like feckless leaders, like Elaine Luria, who just put her head in the sand and let that stuff continue. We hold them accountable, and we remove them from office.
Well, I mean, basically, you want order. Luria obviously wants mobs, right? Because she hasn't said anything.
There's no question. She just allows it to happen, doesn't speak up and show any leadership whatsoever. And the reality is people want to feel secure. They want to feel safe. Sure, they want equality. Sure, they want to deal, to have social justice. Everyone wants that, but not at the expense of the safety and security of their families.
Scott Taylor, how do you win this race?
Well, as you know, I mean, look, when you lose, you if you're smart, you learn from your mistakes. You learn from other people's mistakes. You get down and you figure out what went wrong.
You're listening to WJFN Goochland.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
There are some soft areas that we have work to do. Right. There's something that needs to be done. Like I said, with I respect Jerome and Ben, of course, but the reality is, families sometimes fight more than the outside. But once somebody else touches your family, you stand shoulder to shoulder and you fight with them. And so we got to bring everybody together. We've got to get this district back. We've got to hit those soft points where we're soft. We've got to raise a bunch of money, of course, because the left's not going to let this go easy. They're going to spend a ton of money in here making her out to be the moderate that she is not once again. So we'll hold her accountable. We'll get that message out. We'll raise money. We'll have the grassroots effort, and we'll win this district back.
Luria is a Nancy Pelosi, AOC, left-wing sycophant that feigns a moderate. She has no moderate voting record. She's voted with Pelosi on everything and AOC with everything, and you're going to expose her record and bring the truth out. That's how you beat her. Trump is going to carry the district, Scott Taylor, and you are going to win, and I'm predicting that now. This is going to be our first pickup right here.
The greatest turnout in 2nd District Republican primary history was yesterday. Think about that for a second. For those who are saying that the president isn't strong here, or the Republicans aren't coming back, they're simply misguided. We had the most turnout ever in congressional history in 2nd District for a Republican primary. We're ready to go for November.
All right, Scott Taylor, bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm ready.
All right,
I'm
man.
ready.